A few months back, I had visited the ruins of the Harappan city of Lothal in northwestern India, which is about 85 kilometers, or just over 50 miles, from the modern metropolis of Ahmedabad, India. Compared to Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, the two most famous Harappan sites, Lothal is rather small, but it contains many of the characteristics of a typical Harappan city, and for this reason, it's a good place to explore. The name Lothal means place of the dead, but it's not the real name of the city, which no one knows. The site was excavated between the years 1955 to 1962 by Dr. S.R. Rao, whose team unearthed many of the town's structural remains. Rao estimated that Lothal thrived roughly between the years 2500 to 1900 BC, and perhaps at its height was home to around 15,000 people. Like many other Harappan cities and towns, Lothal was divided into two main sections, an upper town, or Acropolis, and a lower town, the latter which was protected from flooding by a 13-meter thick brick wall. In Lothal, the main difference between the Acropolis and lower town sections were that the houses of the Acropolis stood on a 3-meter high platform and had better civic amenities, such as covered underground drains, and more elaborate baths made out of standard Harappan burnt bricks. If Lothal had an upper or elite class, then they would have definitely lived in this area. The lower town was further divided up into two sectors, one of these being the city's main commercial center, where workers, craftsmen, artisans, and merchants set up shop, and a more residential district where these and other people probably lived. Lothal's most prominent structure is the man-made dockyard constructed out of burnt bricks. While today the Arabian Sea is about 17 kilometers, or 10.5 miles away, during the primary phases of its occupation, Lothal was much closer to, if not on the sea. The dockyard consisted of a tidal basin, or dock, connected to a canal, which allowed boats to enter and exit the basin during high and low tides. The basin itself was about 214 meters long and 36 meters wide, and had an estimated depth of around 4 to 6 meters. While some have stated that it may have just been nothing more than a large water tank, the discovery of stone ship anchors, as well as evidence that seawater was contained within the brick enclosure, support the hypothesis that this was indeed a dockyard. Nearby was a warehouse that was probably used to store goods that were loaded onto or unloaded from trading ships. In fact, Lothal's economy was based on trade in semi-precious stones, copper, ivory, terracotta products, cotton, and shell. Typical Harappan-style pottery, as well as many seals similar to those found at other Harappan sites, have been uncovered at Lothal, as well as one believed to have originated from southern Mesopotamia or the Gulf region. Though there is a section of Lothal that archaeologists call the graveyard, only 17 burials have been discovered there to date, which is a minuscule number for a city believed to have been home to thousands. This has led many to conclude that the city's inhabitants probably cremated their dead. Many archaeologists believe that most of Lothal was destroyed around 1900 BC due to frequent flooding and the local river changing course. Though some people still continued to live there afterward, by 1700 BC, the city was completely abandoned. Before we explore the remains of Lothal further, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Surfshark, for making surfing the waters of the web much more secure. What do I mean by that? Well, often when you're traveling, you have to rely on public Wi-Fi networks, which are great because they're often free, but also dangerous because they're insecure and vulnerable to hackers. A VPN keeps your information safe and private by covering up, almost like a mask, everything that you do online. When your device connects to the internet, all of your information is encrypted. For example, when I had to change my flight last minute, I felt secure using the airport's Wi-Fi whilst I was using my VPN. Another great thing is that I could use Surfshark to change my IP address while abroad, so that while I was in India, I could still watch all the shows as if I was in the US and not miss them. And right now, you can get an exclusive Surfshark deal. Enter the promo code HistoryWithSci for an extra 3 months by clicking on the link in the video description. That's right, 3 months free when you use the code HistoryWithSci. Be safe surfing the web with Surfshark.
The toilet is here. Hmm?
The old place.
Just have to go around. There's rain.
Then this is the drain. These are all bathrooms.
उतना ही हम समझ सके without anybody telling. तेवढी एकच गोष्ट जर रंगीबेरंगी दिसते की जिथे तुम्ही फोटो काढू शकता. कब्रस्तान के जिंदा आदमी बन.
No, still have to go.
યાદ આવવામાં ખાલી મમ્મી જ આવશે.
So I hope you've enjoyed this little trip around Lothal. Thanks for watching. I'd also really like to thank the channel's patrons for making videos like this possible. These include, but are definitely not limited to, Grankek69, Jaap de Graaf, Pasta Frola, Michael Lewis, Daniel Allen, Danny Van Eck, Wenix TV, Robert Morgan, Frank, Tim Lane, Sebastian Hurtado Correa, Michael Trudell, Leader Titan, Micah G, John Scarberry, Andrew Bomer, Monty Grimes, Franz Robbins, Cyrus Meir, Dianastra, Nimrod Nir, Hypnos San, Brendan Redman, Faridun Dadachanji, Jimmy Daruwala, Anahita Debu, Gulistan Debu, Sher Kam, Farhad Kama, and all of the channel's patrons on Patreon for helping to support this and all future content. Check out the benefits to being a Patreon member, and if you'd like to join, feel free to click the link in the video description. You can also follow History with Sai on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as continue to listen to special audio programs on the History with Sai podcast. Thanks again, and stay safe.